Let's dive a little bit deeper into the concept of suffering and different approaches to understanding and dealing with it. Hello, brothers. My name is Art. Welcome to Masculine Reflections. Today we'll elaborate on the topic of suffering. No magical thinking, no woo-woo stuff. We live in the real world and connection to reality is essential for man. Now let's begin. When we talk about suffering, one thing is important to understand and comprehend is that humans are creatures that acquired a very important skill that differentiates them from other species. The skill I am referring to is verbal communication. In the particular topic of suffering, the verbal communication that has great influence is self-communication. That inner voice that tells you things and you reply to them with a particular set of words. And more often than not, this set doesn't change throughout your life. Sometimes it is called a linguistic style or language habit, because it is your own habit of reacting to certain events that happen in your life with a particular emotional state and attached set of words which help you to describe your state and feelings. There is some research on the relationship between language use and mental well-being. Studies have shown that the way people talk about their experiences and emotions can have an impact on their mental health. Language habits refer to the habitual ways that people use language, including the words they choose, the way they structure sentences, and the tone and style of their communication. Certain linguistic styles are associated with better mental health outcomes. For example, people who use more positive emotions in their language tend to be happier and have better mental health. On the other hand, people who use more negative emotion words or who have tendency to ruminate on negative experiences are more likely to experience anxiety and depression. People who have a more accepting attitude towards difficult experiences tend to have better mental health outcomes. This is sometimes referred to as psychological flexibility, and it involves being able to accept and adapt to difficult situations rather than trying to avoid or control them. If you consider adversities that might happen in your life as something dangerous and something that should be avoided at all costs, when it really happens you will find yourself in a very uncomfortable place, telling yourself that you did not deserve something that happened to you. Thus life isn't fair to you, and reaction to this unfairness would be your bitching about it for a significant amount of time, which will only make your emotional state worse and worse. No wonder drugs, alcohol, food, anxiety and depression become your companions for a long time, making your life even harder. But what if there was another way? What if something bad happens in your life and instead of telling yourself post factum that your life is bad because of this, you could adopt a habit that makes you almost invulnerable to adversity and unlucky situations? What if you can acquire a new habit of telling yourself that whatever happens to you, whatever problems come in your way, you have resilience and mental fortitude to recover from it quickly and return to your normal emotional state without disrupting your energy reserves and mental stability? Would that be more beneficial than whining about a cruel world that operates not in your favor at all times? What do you think? People can change their linguistic style throughout their life and become more resilient to suffering. In fact, research has shown that interventions aimed at changing the way people talk about their experiences can have a positive impact on their mental health. For example, cognitive behavioral therapy is a type of therapy that focuses on helping people to change their negative thoughts patterns and cognitive biases, which can in turn improve their mental health. In terms of other psychological traits that can be helpful for people to be more protected from the consequences of adversities, here are a few examples. Self-efficacy and confidence is the belief in your ability to successfully perform a task or handle a situation. People with high self-efficacy tend to be more resilient in the face of challenges and setbacks because they believe in their ability to overcome them. Optimism is the tendency to see the positive aspects of situations and to believe that things will work out for the best. Research has shown that optimistic people tend to have better mental health and are better able to cope with adversity. Social support refers to the help and assistance that people receive from their social networks, such as friends, family, and community. Having a strong social support network can be a protective factor against the negative consequences of adversity, as it provides people with emotional and practical support. That is why you often hear that your network is your net worth, and this is not only related to money or physical resources, but also to mental resources that you get from the support of people around you. Emotional regulation refers to the ability to manage and regulate your emotions in response to different situations. People who are able to regulate their emotions effectively tend to be more resilient in the face of adversity because they are better able to cope with difficult emotions. It is not a secret that women have problems regulating their emotions unlike men. But the thing is that regulating emotions is a skill that men have the possibility of acquiring, but nevertheless, it should be acquired and trained. If you are not trained in emotion regulations, you will have a hard time protecting yourself from suffering, anxiety, and depression. That's all for today. We'll discuss this in more detail in the next video. Meanwhile, you can try to train your emotional regulation using meditation. Open your eyes. Return your breath to normal. Stand up, put your like on this video, write a comment on your thoughts or insights. Then go take a cold shower and do the work. We'll meet again.